It's with a heavy heart that I have to announce that we've located the remains of 13-year-old Nicole Madison Lovell.
Nicole touched many people throughout her short life.
I'm so sorry. I wish I could have stopped.
In the early morning of Wednesday, January 27th, 2016, 13-year-old Nicole pushed her nightstand against her bedroom door and then climbed out of her window, taking along her phone and minion blanket. She thought she was going to meet a friend, but she had no idea of the horror that was about to befall her. This is the story of Nicole Lovell, the girl who got lured and killed by someone she trusted. Nicole Madison Lovell was described as a sweet, lovable, and awesome girl who had a very tough life. She was born on March 5th, 2002 to her mom, Tammy Weeks, and dad, David Lovell, in Blacksburg, Virginia. Before she was even 1 year old, Nicole was diagnosed with a rare type of cancer in her liver and had to undergo a transplant. She was then put on anti-rejection medication, which she needed to take every day in order to survive. After the illness, Nicole tried to live a normal life for a while, but then when she was 4, she again got really sick and was in a coma for about 6 months. Still, she fought for her life and survived, but was left with scars on her stomach and neck due to the surgeries and treatment. As Nicole got older, she started becoming self-conscious of how she looked, and she was an easy target for bullies who called her fat and made fun of her scars. She hated going to school and would often cry and beg her mom to let her stay home from school. When this incident happened, Nicole was a 7th grader at Blacksburg Middle School. That Wednesday morning at 7 a.m., Nicole's mother, Tammy, went to wake her up for school and was shocked to find her door barricaded with a nightstand and the window open. Nicole was nowhere to be found. Tammy said in an interview that she rushed to her truck and started calling Nicole's phone, but it went to voicemail. She then checked with Nicole's friends and a neighbor, and when she couldn't find Nicole, she called the police. Due to Nicole's medical condition, the police issued an endangered child alert, and a search was immediately launched. The police, the FBI, and Virginia Tech cadets scoured the area on foot and with drones trying to find her.
For the last 2 days, police officers from 7 agencies have searched the ground. They are following up on every tip that comes in. A drone from Virginia Tech also aided in the search from the air. Nicole's family says they believe someone is responsible for her disappearance, and that person is making their lives a nightmare.
Around this time, a neighbor came forward with some chilling information that her daughter had told her about Nicole.
They were sleigh riding in the snow in the back on the hill, and she was talking about this boyfriend she had that was 18 and went to college, and his name was David.
Like many teenagers, Nicole was on various social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Kik. Kik is a messaging app that's popular among teenagers because of the anonymity that it provides. And just for that same reason, it's also a hunting ground for pervs and predators. Having struggled with self-esteem issues for most of her life, Nicole was longing for love and attention, but felt that nobody cared about her. So when she started receiving some attention from a boy she had met on Kik, she was really excited and told her friends about her new, older boyfriend. Investigators sent in an emergency disclosure request to Kik, asking the company to let them see Nicole's personal account. And what they discovered was truly troubling. It turned out that before she went missing, Nicole had been chatting with someone with a creepy username, Dr. Tombstone. The police traced the IP address to a guy by the name of David Eisenhower, an 18-year-old high-achieving engineering student at Virginia Tech who had even appeared on TV as Student Athlete of the Week.
I make my personal goals achievable, or just out of reach of achievable. That way I'm always constantly striving to better myself. If that goal becomes a record, or if that goal is past a record, or records get broken in the process, I consider that like a milestone goal, but that's not where I ultimately want to end up.
People who knew him described him as smart and charismatic, but a bit cocky. So what would such a person be doing with a 13-year-old? On Saturday, January 30th, 3 days after Nicole's disappearance, David was picked up by the police in his dorm room and brought in for questioning. He denied having anything to do with Nicole's disappearance, but admitted to having seen her the night she went missing. According to David, he had been chatting with this girl on Kik since December 2015, but he didn't know her name, and she had told him she was 16 or 17 years old. When he went to pick her up at her home in January, he was surprised to see someone who looked to be about 11 years old climbing out of the window. David told the police that he didn't want anything to do with her, so he just drove off saying, "I deleted Kik, Snapchat, everything I had she could possibly have access to, because I wanted nothing to do with that." Of course, investigators did not believe him, and he was arrested and charged with abduction. Then, that same day at around 4 p.m., police made a grisly discovery in North Carolina, 80 miles from Nicole's home.
It's with a heavy heart that I have to announce that we've located the remains of 13-year-old Nicole Madison Lovell. As investigators progressed through the afternoon, we were able to determine an approximate area where she might be found. Virginia State Police were dispatched to the general area at approximately 4 o'clock this afternoon, and she was located just inside the North Carolina border.
Her naked body was found in the woods with 14 knife wounds. Her neck had been broken by a blunt object, and it was revealed that she could have still been alive when it happened. David's DNA was found under Nicole's fingernails. When investigators later searched his car, they found several other incriminating pieces of evidence, including a shovel, which had her bloody fingerprints on it, and red stains, which matched Nicole's DNA. A look at his laptop revealed some very chilling Google searches that he had made the day Nicole disappeared, such as knockout drugs and how long does it take to burn a body, and how does the TV serial killer Dexter get rid of bodies. It was also discovered that the area where Nicole's body had been found was a little over 4 miles from David's grandparents' home. This was more than enough evidence for the police to charge David with a felony count of murder, as well as the previous abduction charge. But there was more. During his interrogation, David had named another engineering student by the name of Natalie Keepers as his alibi, but later, police learned that she was actually his accomplice. Like David, Natalie was a freshman at Virginia Tech and was described as extremely smart and academically driven. She had even interned at NASA.
Finding a job in this economy has gotten to be extremely important.
Police went to Natalie's college dorm room to question her about her involvement with David, but when they got there, they found red stains on her boots and a gym bag that contained Nicole's red-stained Minion blanket, along with some other stuff belonging to Nicole. The bloody handprint on the shovel also turned out to be Natalie's. She was immediately arrested and charged with accessory before the fact and concealing of human remains. Although Natalie denied being present when the murder took place, she admitted to helping David cover up the crime by disposing of Nicole's body. She went on to give a chilling account of how everything happened. Apparently, David and Nicole had met at least one time before she disappeared, and he reportedly feared that she could be pregnant. Scared that everyone would know that he was having an inappropriate relationship with an underage girl, he decided to get rid of her. Natalie told the police that David came to her in a panic and told her how he planned to lure Nicole out of her home one night, take her to a remote area, and her throat. She claimed that David forced her to help him dispose of the body, but as investigators would later find out, this was actually not the case.
I wouldn't have let him do anything even if I had to see him do that to her. And the first thing I would have done is start the car and drove.
Police found messages on Kik where the two were discussing possible ways of getting rid of Nicole, including switching her medication to cyanide pills. GPS data from David's car showed them scouting the location of the murder, and they were also captured by surveillance cameras buying a shovel at Walmart. According to Natalie, David went to Nicole's home Wednesday, January 27th at around 1 a.m. to pick her up under the guise of taking her out on a date. Instead, he drove to a nearby wooded area and mowed her to death. Nervous about the growing media attention, David and Natalie then moved Nicole's body the next day to North Carolina. On the way, they stopped by Walmart and bought some cleaning supplies such as bleach, wipes, and rubber gloves, where they were later found in Nicole's room. When Natalie was later asked why she did it, she replied, and I quote, "I was excited to be a part of something secretive and special." How sick is that? Natalie pleaded guilty to concealing a body but fought the accessory charge, saying that she didn't know that David would actually go through with his plan. Choking back the tears, she pleaded with the jury and begged Nicole's family to forgive her, saying that she never intended for it to happen.
I pray for your family, everything. I'm so sorry. I wish I could have stopped.
The jury, of course, did not buy this, and after deliberating for about 90 minutes, they found her guilty and recommended that she be sentenced to 40 years in prison. David pleaded no contest to the murder charges and was sentenced to 50 years in prison. When given a chance to speak, he apologized to Nicole's family, saying that he regretted what he did to her.
It is my deepest regret, and I'm aware my actions have serious consequences. Nothing can ever undo what has been done, and for that, I am deeply, sincerely, and forever sorry.
Despite the people responsible for her daughter's death going to prison, Nicole's mother, Tammy, later said that she did not get any closure because she still couldn't understand why they had to kill her little girl.
Coley had a passion for pandas, music, dancing, dreamed of being on American Idol someday. Her favorite color was blue. Nicole was a very lovable person. Nicole touched many people throughout her short life.
What do you think about this case? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, and if you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more.